Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to bring you the next yoga breakdown. It's been a while. Thank you so much for allowing for a pause during the summer, maybe to even explore some of your own practices and the poses we discussed before, like Tadasana or Child's Pose or tabletop pose and things like that, and use those poses to enhance your practice. So welcome back. I'm so excited to have you here. We're going to start to work with the Warrior series at this time. So the Warrior series is interesting. We're really just going to take on Warrior 1, 2, and 3 over the course of the next 3 weeks, really. And we'll start with Warrior 2. So these Warrior 2 specifically will be in many of the practices that you'll be a part of, which would be maybe a vinyasa class, slow flow class, maybe even in a beginner's class or prenatal. So you may be taking this Warrior 2 pose. So since it's so ubiquitous, I decided that it might be a great place to start. The Warriors in general are really great for transitions, for movement, for opening up in hips or bringing hips back together. So I think they're a great place to start as far as our standing poses as we start to work up into standing poses. So let's take a look at what Warrior 2 looks like. So as you can see, when you're in Warrior 2, the hips are off the midline. It just means that they're opening out to the side versus straight ahead. The one foot is positioned forward and the other one is slanted back, so in line with the back of the mat. And the arms are coming along on either side. So they're not coming in front of you like this, but coming along on either side, tracking the hips. So what are some of the things you need to know about your Warrior 2? First of all, I'm going to show you the step back from the front of your mat. You won't always do this, but in some classes you will. So let's go from there. When you're at the start of your mat, your feet will be together to start, and then you'll step back. I'm going to step back one leg here. I'm going to step back your leg, and as you do this, you're stepping back. Hips are square and a slight external rotation. So the hip is going to move out just slightly as you're stepping back. Real slight adjustments here, so it's not a lot going on. Stepping back here, allowing for that to happen, landing on the foot, bending the front knee. So check out your foot here. Your foot might be facing in a little bit, so you want to make the adjustment so the foot is along the back end of the mat, and that will almost automatically open your hips and allow for the front knee to bend. If it does not, you're bending into the front knee to your degree. Knee is tracking toe as much as possible. However, if you feel like the knee starts to buckle in like this, you'll want to move the knee from the hip. So a lot of times you'll hear a teacher cue, move your knee in, tracking along the baby toe, all right? Moving from the knee is, as my teacher would always say, is a compensation and doesn't allow for the hip to work. So if your knee starts to track in, really concentrate your effort right here in the hip and allow the hip to open up and guide the movement, okay? One thing that's super important about this pose as well is to make sure you're pressing down in points of the feet. So you're pressing down into big toe mound, baby toe mound, center of the heel. So the 3 points of the feet, pressing down and feeling connection in both feet. Really allow for your legs to be nice and strong on this pose. So let me show you the step back again and how I do that. Coming from the top of the mat, stepping back into Warrior 2. Really nice. I'm not bringing my arms long quite yet. Hands will come to hips, pressing down the hips, pressing down the points of the feet. Now my legs are really strong. So if I touch my legs, they're definitely flexed, they're definitely very hard, and they're working. And then I allow my arms to come floating up alongside. So this way, I'm allowing my feet and my abs to take this on and work so that my shoulder girdle doesn't. If I'm lackadaisical, I could very well start to try to take on that from the shoulder and soon have shoulder exhaustion. This happened to me for years and years and years, having shoulder exhaustion because I wasn't using my legs properly. Meanwhile, my legs are hanging out and I didn't understand why people were feeling a burn. I'm like, I don't have any burn. And that's because they weren't working. Pressing down, arms come long. Gaze is to the front of the room, right in front of your fingertips. And taking deep breaths in and out here. I'm going to show you from the back so you can see the length of my spine and see what it looks like. So stepping back from the alternate foot here, feet are at hip distance, and I step back my foot. Really nice, setting up my adjustments. Arms come long. Pressing it to the points of the feet. Nice long back body here. Now take a look at my arm. My back arm will naturally track over my back hip. So wherever that one is, each side is going to be different. Sometimes the cue is to really pull the arm back, and then it comes behind the hip, and you're totally out of alignment at that point. You're not doing yourself any justice to your hip or your shoulder. So you're just allowing that to track alongside. That might mean you're not completely outstretched, and many bodies in our culture, you won't be stretched out completely perfectly because our hips don't open out in one movement. So when I say something like that, what do I mean? So we live in a very sedentary society, a lot of sitting, a lot of relaxation, so to speak, but driving, texting, watching TV, it's all kind of like this kind of motion. So we don't do this external rotation very good. We don't do this very good. We don't do squats really good. We don't have that capacity, so to speak. So when we go in, we step into our warrior two, and now we're lengthening things out. We can't then expect that everything's gonna look like completely straight across the arms, all right? Then my arm is coming behind my body, and I'm reaching out here, this out here, and this hurts, and I can't breathe. Allowing myself to track. So the hip is tracking. It's not completely open. I'll show you so you can see. If my hip were completely open, it would be kind of like, I'll come into my wide-legged fold. This is completely open, okay? If my hips could stay here, and I can bring this like that, you see the tilt of my hands? It doesn't happen for my body. It doesn't happen for many bodies. There's some that it does, but not everybody. So bringing it in, bending into the knee, you note that my hips are facing this way. Therefore, I can't expect my arms are going to go out long this way. And then I'm going to look this way, and it's going to be comfortable at all. So I allow my arms to come alongside the body, tracking over the hips. And again, let me show you this from the back. As you can see, tracking alongside the hips. So kind of coming more forward in my case. Really nice. And then allowing for movement. This allows for a lot more movement for me. Anything that I want to do, popping up, coming forward, whatever it is that I'd be doing as I move around the mat. Gives us some fluidity. So let's talk about where my feet are. We haven't talked about that yet, and then we can go try it out, press pause, and have a lot of fun with this pose. So when I'm stepping back, checking out my feet, my back foot parallel to the mat, we've talked about this a couple of times. My front heel is about in line with what they call the arch of the foot. When I give in my classes, I say about the middle of the foot. It's not going to be exactly the same for everybody. The front knee will be bent, but may not be the 90-degree bend that everybody talks about. May not work. If I go 90-degree in mine, I can barely press my heel down. When I press my heel down, I come back a little naturally. That's where I need to be. Again, arms coming long. Gaze to the front of the mat if that would feel good. And then from here, you're really move the body in a number of different directions. Really, really fluid movement here, so you don't feel stuck. Coming back around, I'll show you. Maybe coming into your crescent lunge, stepping forwards. A lot of movement can happen from there. So I definitely would like you to, after this video, grab your mat, try things out, move things around, or next time you're in studio or you're practicing, try out different ways you can hang out with Warrior 2. And if you're local to my area, I do teach in Acton and I teach in Hudson, so please feel free to come to a class, check out these movements, maybe work with this with me, and then we can go from there. It's really kind of a nice way to explore a pose that maybe you've done 100 times, and today it will be different for you. It would be so awesome. If you don't live near me and you can't practice with me, feel free to come play this video a few times, try it out, try to feel this in your body, and then maybe comment below and talk to me about how you're doing, how you're feeling, how this worked. Really would love to hear from you. So thank you so much for visiting my channel and the first yoga breakdown for the fall season. I'm really excited. I'll see you next week. We're gonna set up Warrior We're going to set up Warrior 1 next week. Save Warrior 3 for last. Warrior 3 is one of my personal favorites. I'll save what I think is the best for last. But yeah, we'll set up Warrior 1, which is a really interesting pose, and I'll show you the way I get into Warrior 1 versus a more common way of getting into Warrior 1. And I will definitely see you next time. Thank you so much for visiting my channel. Hit subscribe and the notification bell so that you can be reminded when the next yoga breakdown comes out. Thank you. Have a great day. Namaste.